one of the other parts of the plan was to create this narrative, share the Steele dossier with the FBI, leak it to the press, and then have the FBI respond to press reports, which they did by putting media clippings in their FISA applications. Look, it's one thing. I think we know, it doesn't matter what party, there are really disingenuous political campaign ads, right? Some of them are downright disgusting. But whatever, it's free speech, I guess. I mean, what's the content of a campaign ad or a political accusation or j'accuse or guilt by association is one thing. It's another thing when the head of the CIA, the head of the FBI, and the director of national intelligence are colluding with one another and the former president to launch this investigation that they knew had no basis. The idea that CrowdStrike saying that Russia hacked the DNC, which they had the FBI didn't do it. This is a private sector. The FBI did not run this audit. The CIA didn't help, or the NSA. The FBI took their accusation and put it together and said, well, if Russia was doing something that hurt the Democrats, they must be doing it to help Donald Trump. But they also knew that the Russians had their own dossier on Hillary Clinton, which if they were trying to benefit Trump, they would have dumped on social media.
Yeah, they would have put that information out. And anybody who would look at this objectively, right, after the 2016 election would probably think to themselves, well, who would Vladimir Putin want as president of the United States? The person from the party who said he's going to get a reset button, or the person who said he's going to put America first and make America strong again, right? So it never made sense to me, the narrative, just from a 30,000-foot view. Why would Vladimir Putin want Trump versus Hillary Clinton? It's like saying you'd rather face Nolan Ryan than some kid toss an underhand to you in the batter's box, right? I mean, I would rather not face the guy who's effectively wild throwing 100 miles an hour. I'd rather face the guy who's, throwing beach balls and lollipops toward the plate. It give me a better chance to hit. And everyone knows if you play baseball with me, I can't hit. So, it makes no sense to me why folks would think that Russia played a role in trying to elect Donald Trump, or why that Russia would prefer Donald Trump. But even, back to the point of this dossier, opposition research is totally legal, but using opposition research, lying to FISA courts about it, where it came from, circularly reporting it in the media, saying that, hey, look, here's an anonymous source from BuzzFeed and the Wall Street Journal and New York Times. Look, it matches the information that we were given by, John McCain and Republican members of Congress and the Senate. Doing so and using opposition research to launch a spying campaign on a spying investigation on a presidential campaign is something that would make Fidel Castro blush, right? He is blushing. He thinks it's amazing. This guy, it's not something you would expect to see happen in the United States of America.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.